Hello shopbox out there, it's a brand new week, so you guys starting up means a new week with lots of new adventures to be had. I'm going to be taking you guys along on my adventures that I get up to this week. It's Monday and I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off work. I'm not on work now till Friday evening, so I was able to have a little bit of a lie this morning. I then had some breakfast. I had some lemon curd toast with a cup of tea, watched a little bit of TV and listened to some music, and was watching a bit of Homes Under the Hammer. I was then playing with Bear out in the garden with his rope tight, which he loves, and having some bear cuddles. And then I was just working on a little bit of my short stories I've been working on, listened to a bit of music, and was working on some illustrations and kind of sort of dozing and watched some vlogs and TikToks and some funny dog and cat videos and scene line videos and posted some new TikToks. And then I got myself ready to go off for a walk, and whilst on my walk I was listening to music on my headphones, having a lovely stroll, and I saw and chatted to one of my mates, and then I got some flower snaps whilst on my walk, and I'll show you guys those. I was able to get some really beautiful flower snaps whilst on my walk, lots of lovely colourful roses, they're just so pretty. I then headed up to the high street and went off to have a look around some of the charity shops. I went off to one of the book shops. I love one of old books so much, and popped into Aldi and had a look at Aldi's Best Buy section. And I went off to one of the craft shops. I was having a lovely look around there, and then popped to TG Jones. I was having a look at some of the notebooks and stationery in there. I just love stationery so much. And then I popped to one of the cafes and had some lunch from there. I had some nachos and a caramel hot chocolate. The hot chocolate and nachos I had for my lunch were so delicious. I then just chilled in there for a little bit, and then I got some meal selfies from there, and I'll show you guys. I then went off to the flower shop and I got some flower snaps from there, and I'll show you guys. They've always got such beautiful bouquets of flowers in that flower shop, with such lovely colourful flowers, lots of roses and sunflowers, and it all smells so good in there. I then was having a lovely chat with the flower shop keepers in there and got some plant starts from the plant section, and I'll show you guys those. They had any new succulents in, and was having a lovely look around there, and was able to get some really pretty snaps of some of the leaves and succulents and cactuses and plant pots. I then went off and had a look around some more of the shops, and then saw two of the people I go to morning group with on Friday mornings in one of the cafes. So I went in and had a nice chat with them, and on my way out I got some mirror selfies from there to show you guys. The mirrors in that cafe are so beautiful, and all the pretty lanterns and wallpapers and print. I then headed off, and whilst on my way back I was listening to music on my headphones, and then got back and I was just working on a little bit more of my short story, listened to some music and just watched some stuff off record. I then was just finishing off some new illustrations and sorting out my Bluetooth doll into a new look, and I'll show you guys that. Here's my Bluetooth doll's newest look, starting off with the shoes. She has these yellow daisy print trainers. I love all the details and the laces, and the white socks, and then white shorts with orange lining, and the pockets and buckles are so cute. Then she has this rainbow coloured striped white t-shirt with flag sleeves and off the shoulder, and then this black hat, and this is the whole look. I love that new look, summer vibes, and the sun has come back out. Hopefully it stays dry. I don't mind if it stays overcast, I just really don't want it to be raining the whole week on my days off, fingers crossed. And have stripped my bed, ready for my bedding to be changed, and I have also been packing, as I'm going to be staying over at Tash's for the next few days for a little try. I want to see how we get on living together, and I'm very excited. It's going to be like a little holiday, and I'm going to be getting everything packed and heading off to Tash's for about 3ish, and we'll see a little bit more vlog when I get to Tash's. It's late on in the evening now, and I'm at Tash and Amelia's flat, staying here for a few days just to see how it is like to be moved out and see how we get on before we move in together, help me with more of my confidence, like with washing, doing the laundry, ironing and bits like that, and help me get a bit more independent. So kind of like a moving out boot camp kind of thing, And I got in and settled in, and I'm staying in the middle room. She's got the clean sheets and made it look really nice. I feel like I'm in an Airbnb. And we went off to Aldi to get some bits from there, and then went off to News for You and I got a drink from there. Also got some chicken Caesar wraps from Aldi from the Meldale section. That's so good. Me and Tash both love chicken Caesar. She's obsessed with chicken Caesar at the moment. Ever since she had the one we do at our workplace, she's been loving it. I've always loved it. So one more thing that we both love, have a lot in common, we're literally soulmates. And then we went off to one of the child shops. I thought there was a dollhouse in the window, but it turned out it was just a kid's toy kitchen place there. But I did look in there. It then started to rain a little bit, and I loved that earthy smell of the rain leaves. We then got back to the flat, and I had my chicken Caesar wraps and my drink, and we watched a bit of the Carly documentary that was on Netflix that Tash hadn't seen yet. We then started watching a bit of Shrek, and then Tash headed off to work. She's doing 5 till close, which means I'm in the flat on my own. I'm not a big fan of being home alone in the evenings, when it's like later on in the evenings. It's a bit scary, but when I move out with Tash, I'm gonna have to get used to it. And it's no difference to staying home alone in the daytime, which I've done before, so I'll be fine. I've just got to put my big boy pants on and I'll be fine. And yeah, so far so good. Haven't blown up the flat. And then I was just working on some illustrations, listened to a bit of music and watching some vlogs and TikToks. And my latest vlog has now gone up, and I was just watching some more stuff on Netflix. I was just watching a bit of Dairy Girls. Love that show so much. And had a cup of tea and one of my oatmeal and biscuits that I brought with me. I had a little care package that my mum and dad got me with some cereal, some butter, some milk, some stuff like mac and cheese and bits like that, which is really sweet. And Tash loves oatmeal and biscuits, so I got one back yesterday after work and had one with my cup of tea. Always love dunking my cups of tea. I'm a dunker of biscuits in my tea. And then for my tea, I had a mac and cheese, and I'll show you guys that. The mac and cheese that I had for my tea was so delicious. It was nice and cheesy, just how I like it. And I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, and then watch today's soaps and just chill. And Tash will be back shortly, and she'll see you with more to vlog tomorrow. It's now Tuesday, and I got up at about 11 and I got some breakfast. I had some buttered toast with a cup of tea, and me and Tash just sat and chilled for a bit. I then got showered and changed, and we got ourselves ready to go off to the garden centre. And despite what the weather said, it was actually a really nice sunny day with beautiful blue skies. I had not packed a hat because I didn't think it was going to be very sunny. So before heading off to go to the garden centre, we stopped off at one of the child shops where I got a hat to wear, as I didn't want to be burning my head. And then we popped into Surroundings, this really cute little craft shop that do lots of art prints and sell frames for paintings and bits like that. And they always have really cute displays in there, and it's a really cozy shop. And they had a load of plants and lanterns hanging down from the ceilings in there. It's just so beautiful. And Tash got some snacks off me from there, and she was able to get some really cute snacks of me from there with all the plants and lanterns hanging down. I then was having a lovely chat with the shopkeepers in there, and they're just so lovely. And we were chatting about Kylie's documentary series that me and Tash had watched last night. And then I got some snacks from some of the displays they have in there, and I'm sure you guys do. I was having a lovely look around there at all the pretty displays, and they sell really cool things in there. Stationery, notebooks, art supplies, socks, all things that I love, and always love going into that shop. And then me and Tash headed off to go to the garden centre, my happy place. And before that, we popped to one of the corner shops and got a drink each to have for the walk up. I then had to quickly pop back to mine to get some bits from there that I'd forgotten. I'd forget my head if it was attached to my body, and quickly said hello to Bear, gave him some cuddles, and was having a quick chat with my mum. and then me and Tash head up to go to the garden centre, and it was a lovely sunny day with beautiful blue skies, and we were listening to a bit of Lady Gaga on the way up to the garden centre, and Tash got 2 snaps for me in front of some flowers, and she goes those. These pink and red roses she got snaps of me in front of are so beautiful. There's so many beautiful roses out and about at the moment with such lovely colours. And then we did a TikTok whilst on the way up. I did the Can't Get My Head TikTok where you walk and then turn around and then shake your booty, and then it pans around. It took us a few attempts, but we smashed it. And then me and Tash got a selfie from where we've been doing the TikTok, and she goes there. We then got into the garden centre, and just as we got into the garden centre, the heavens opened and it absolutely lashed down, so we timed that perfectly. I then got some flower snaps from the garden centre, and she goes those. I was having a lovely time looking around all the beautiful flowers. All the sunflowers and dahlias and roses are so beautiful. Some of my favourite flowers to get snaps of, and all the lovely colours on all of the flowers, and it smells so good. We then went off into the cafe, and I got given a card from Dobby's saying, as it's my birthday this month, that I got 2 free cakes from the cafe, which is really sweet of them to do so. So me and Tash got a cake each for free, which was great. And I'd gotten one of the custard slices, Tash got a chocolate cake and a Diet Coke, and I'd got a cherry cola. I love cherry cola so much, and I'm sure you guys will start with the cake that I had from there. It was so delicious, and we sat out in a little outside area of the cafe, and it was lovely and sunny again, the birds singing, and the weather was a bit all over the place today. Sunny one minute, then rainy the next, and I love that earthy smell that the rain leaves. It's one of my favourite smells. Tash is so keen on that smell, but I just love it. And then we let our cakes go down after eating those, which was so delicious. We finished off our drinks, and then I went off and had a look on some more of the outside area of the garden centre, and I got some more flower starts from there to show you guys. I just love flower and plant photography so much, and could spend all day in the garden centre if I could. And then we went off to go and have a look around at the home section, and I got some stats on there to show you guys. They've always got such cute displays in that home section with lots of tote bags and pillows and pretty vases. And then Tash got 2 stats of meat in front of these archways, and she goes, I'm a sucker for an archway snap. I love getting stats in front of the archways, and Tash always gets such great stats on me. Not only is my bestie, she's also my personal photographer. Wouldn't have anyone else getting stats on me. And then I went off to the plant section and got some snaps from there, and I'm sure you guys those. That plant section is huge. Always love having a look around there. All the succulents and cactuses and the pretty patterned leaves and the plant pots, and they have lots of cute little animal plant pots and all animal figures, and they had these plant pots with some squirrels on the side, which is so cute. I then went back outside in the outside area of the garden centre and got some rose snaps from the rose section, and I'll show you guys those. It's so beautiful, with all the lovely colourful roses, and Tash got a snap of me in front of some of the roses, and I'll show you guys that. Such a beautiful snap of me in front of all of those lovely colourful roses, and the sun had come back out and it was lovely and sunny with beautiful blue skies. We then headed back inside of the garden centre, and I looked around some more of the inside of the garden centre. It then started to rain again and went really dark. I then got some bits from the little food section where they have sweets and stuff, and I got some shortbread and some more of the rose lemonade, and I'll show you guys a clip of that. I got some shortbread and some rose lemonade from the garden centre. I also got this umbrella, as it is absolutely chucking it down now. We then headed off, got our umbrellas to fight back the rain, and we got a snap in front of this country lane mirror before it got quite rainy, and it was just drizzling at the start, and I'll show you guys that. We then headed back And as we got back into town, the rain stopped and Tash got a staff meeting in front of some roses, and I'll show you guys that. Such beautiful roses. We then got back and we watched the Eurovision, The Story of Fire Saga, which is such a good film. The songs in it are so good, and Tash got this little craft kit from Dobby's that she's currently over there sorting out, and immediately came back to get some bits, and I answered the phone to let her in and was like, Dan and Tash's flat, how can I help you? Just gave her a chuckle, and I'm now going to be chilling before going off to Jigsaw Volunteering this evening, and then me and Tash are heading down to Jen's this evening to have some food and probably watch a movie or a show and play some games and just see with a bit more to focus when I'm back from that. It's later on in the evening now, and I'm back for being at Jigsaw Volunteering that I do on Tuesday evenings. So I got myself ready to go off to Jigsaw. Got to Jigsaw and it was great to see everyone again. It was off last week due to half term, and we were planning our end of term trip. We're going to be going to do go-karting in August, which will be very exciting. It should be fun. Hopefully they end up crashing and burning. A little bit anxious about doing that, but it should be fun, and I'm sure it'll be fine, and they're going to talk us through it anyway. And then it was the end of the session and I headed off to go get drinks for games night. I was heading down after Jigsaw to meet Jenny and Tash, and I got some lemon Fanta and some cherry cola, and on the way down I had got changed into this t-shirt that I had in my bag. I put my Jigsaw t-shirt into my bag. I then got to Jen's, and me, Jen and Tash were playing some games of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and then we had our tea, and Jenny had done some lasagna with some garlic bread and some little rolls and salad, and I'll show you guys that. The food was so delicious, and Tash had brought along some chocolate Oreos and some mango and some watermelon. So we had some of the watermelon and mango and some of the Oreo biscuits, and played some more games of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And then we got dropped back, and Jenny had given us these crystal candies that she'd made, and I'm going to show you guys a clip of those. Here are the candies that we got. This crystal candies. Oh, they are so pretty. These ones here. We got 3 each, so there's no arguing about who's got the most.
All the same flavour.
And all the same. And we're now gonna be trying them for you guys, a little review.
Ooh. Which flavour?
We're gonna start with this one here.
It's a multicoloured one.
Hopefully it doesn't break my teeth.
Okay.
Mm. It is like SMR. Enjoy the SMR video, guys.
ASMR.
SMR. What do I say? SMR.
SMR.
What's SMR?
I don't know. Good.
They are so
One's
good.
Tutti frutti.
It was very fruity. Now this one here onto the red one. It's really pretty. Look at that.
It's all the different layers of crystal.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
It is like cherry. Yeah. Jenny said it tasted, when she did it with Isla, it tasted very cinnamony as well.
I'm getting a bit of cinnamon.
I am too. I love it.
Delicious.
Right. And then the last one, this one will be my favourite one. It's so pretty. Look at the crystal, like purpley black.
I have a feeling it's grape.
Ooh,
It smells like grape
it
shortcake.
does smell like grape.
Oh yeah.
That is so delicious. We're now going to be devouring these and catching up with the soaps, and we'll see you with more to vlog tomorrow. Bye! It's now Wednesday, and I got up after a little bit of a lie-in. I then had some lemon curd toast with a cup of tea and I was watching St. Trinians, which is now up on Netflix, and it's such a great film. I love the second one as well. Tash then got up and we finished off watching St. Trinians, and then we got ourselves ready to go off into town, and we headed off to get the bus, and luckily the bus stop is only down the road, so we didn't have too far to go to get the bus, and wait for the bus. And it was quite sunny but pretty windy as well, so I ended up getting goosebumps, but it then warmed up a little bit thankfully. The bus then arrived and we got on to the bus and made our way off into town, and it was lovely and sunny again. I had my hat with me as I didn't want to be burning my head, and took my bag with me which I had my hat in, put my hat on, and we then got into town and went off to my favourite little flower shop that I always love to go to whenever I'm in town, and I got some flower stats from there to show you guys. They've always got such beautiful bouquets of flowers in that flower shop, with lots of lovely roses and colourful flowers, and it all smells so good in there with all those lovely fresh flowers. I then had a lovely chat with the flower shopkeepers in there and got some plant snacks from there that I'll show you guys. They've always got such beautiful plant displays with lots of lovely succulents and cactuses and pretty patterned leaves and plant pots. And then Tash went off to the cafe next door whilst I was in the flower shop, so I went round and met back up with Tash, and we went off to Sparks, this really cool creative centre where they have lots of independent shops with lots of really cool clothes and stationery, mugs, prints, lots of really cool things like that I love. And they have really cool mirrors in there, and I got some mirror selfies. I'm going to show you guys those. You've always got such cute mirrors in Sparks, and always get such great selfies from those mirrors. I then went off to have a look at this Waitrose stall that had lots of really vibrant coloured 90s themed things like lunch boxes with Pocahontas on, and dresses with Barbie and Action Man, and lots of 90s things like that on, which I was having a lovely time looking at and reminiscing, and it was taking me back to my childhood. And really cool jackets. They had this Barbie jacket that I was really tempted to get, but I didn't, which was so cool. And I got some stats on there that I'll show you guys. This is such a cool stall. I always love having a look at that stall whenever I go into Sparks. I then ended up getting some more mirror selfies from there that I'll show you guys. It's just so cool in there. I could spend hours in that place. Always so many cool things to look at, and really cool clothes and mirrors. I then got a snap of these high heels, as you could do a high heel making class that I really want me and Tash to go to, and I'll show you guys a snap I got of the shoes. They are stunning. I loved looking at all of the cool high heels, all the lovely colours. And there was one pair of shoes that had a unicorn like tusk as the heel, which was really cool. And then me and Tash head off to go to play mini golf, and we got there and they had this butterfly art outside of the entrance, and I got a snap in front of that. I'm a butterfly, I love it, it's so cute. And then we got in and we played. I came second, she won, but it was very close. She scored 51, I scored 58, but I got a hole-in-one. She got a hole-in-one first, and I was thinking, oh god, I'm not going to get a hole-in-one. And it was just before my last hole, and I got a hole-in-one. I was absolutely chuffed. I couldn't believe that I managed to get a hole-in-one, and only lost my rag once. Tiny little bit, because there was this one hole that was so hard, so I got a little bit annoyed, but she got a little bit annoyed at one of the holes as well. But I managed to keep it cool and had a lot of fun. It was so much fun, and it went really quick. You know what they say, time flies when you're having fun. And I got some snaps from there to show you guys. It was so much fun and such a vibe in that place, and Tash got some snaps on me whilst we were going around playing as well, and there weren't many people in there, so we were able to go around at our own pace, which was quite nice, and I'm sure you guys see snaps. It's so cool in there, and they had some really good music playing in there, and had like thunder and lightning and animal sounds in there, and it was feeling very realistic, like we were in the real jungle. We then went off to the cafe in that place, and we had some pizza, and I had some pepperoni pizza. Tash had pineapple pizza. Blech, not a really big fan of pineapple pizza, but each their own. And the pizzas were so delicious, and I had a cola and then got a peach iced tea from there, and we had some of these dough dessert things, kind of like churros with some Nutella, and I'll show you guys the pizza and the dough full desserts and the peach iced tea that I had. It was so delicious, and on the way out, me and Tash got a snap outside the front of the mini golf place, and I'll show you guys that. We then went next door to the entertainer and had a look around there, and then went off to Typo. I always love having a look at the stationery in there. They always have such cute notebooks, but I was like, nope, you don't need any more stationery at the moment. We then popped into Boots to look in there to get some little mini bits for Tash to take away on holiday. She's off to Benidorm with the football team next week, so she got some bits from there, and we then headed off to get the bus back, and the bus we were going to get was full up, so we had to wait for the next bus. The next bus did not arrive, so it felt like we were never going to get the bus back, and whilst waiting at the bus stop we were playing some games of I Spy to pass the time, and then the bus arrived. We got on the bus and we sat on the top of the bus, and it was pretty busy, and we sat on some empty seats right at the back, and who should be sat on the seat next to us but our good friend Nicky. He's so lovely, and we were having a lovely chat with him, lots of laughs, and it made the journey back go so much quicker. And then we got off by Aldi's bus stop and we headed off to Tesco's, where Tash got some more bits that she needed to take on holiday with her for next week, and I got this Terra Share birthday cake dessert thing from the dessert section from Tesco's to have for our pudding, and we were going to be having spaghetti bolognese. I then got myself a drink from the Milda section and got back and had that, and we just watched a bit of TV. I'd also got some more of this deodorant that I've got before, which is so good, probably the best deodorant I've ever had. Got 2 lots of that. I then packed my stuff. I go home tomorrow. It's been such a lovely few days getting to feel what it's like to live with Tash for a little try one kind of boot camp kind of thing to help me get a bit more independence, and I've had such a great time, and I hope she's enjoyed me being here as much as I've enjoyed being here myself, and can't wait to move on with her. It's going to be amazing, and it just makes me even more excited and even more eager to move out, and I think I'm definitely a lot more confident and a lot more ready than I thought I was with doing this, like staying on Monday evening in the flat in the evening on my own. I'm not a big fan of staying home alone in the evening when it's dark. Scary, don't like it, but I did it, and I think I'm a lot more ready than I thought I was, which is quite exciting. And then we were just watching the second Mamma Mia. We watched the first one last night. Me and Tash love a bit of Mamma Mia, love a bit of ABBA, and then we got the tea ready, and we had our spaghetti and the birthday cake dessert Terra Share that I got for pudding, and a few guys snaps of that. The spaghetti and the birthday cake dessert Terra Share thing we had for our puddings was so good, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, and then watch today's UK soaps, and I've caught up on Hollyoaks. I didn't realise I have Channel 4 on my phone, so I've now caught up on Hollyoaks, Emmerdale, EastEnders and Corrie. I just need to catch up on him anyway when I get back, and we'll see you with more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Thursday, and I got up after a little bit of a lie-in, and I had some breakfast and just finished off packing from where I'll be staying at Tash's for a few days for a little try one before we move in together, and I am definitely ready to move out with Tash. we're both so excited to move out together and are now just looking for a flat to rent. So we've just been looking around for somewhere to rent at the moment, and Tash had work. I then watched a bit of TV, and then I got picked up by my mum. I then got back, got unpacked and caught up with Home and Away that I'd missed whilst away, and watched the soaps from last night that I had watched. And then I got myself ready to go off for a walk and headed up to the high street. I went off and had a look at the charge shop, went off to the book shop. I love the smell of old books so much. I was looking at some of the Doctor Who books they had in there, and went off to Aldi and I looked around at the Best Buy section and went off to one of the craft shops. I then headed down to Wickham's Castle and I got some snacks at the castle to see. It's so cool having a castle on my doorstep that I could go and explore, and was having a lovely look around the castle's grounds and went off into the gardens, and I got some flower snacks on there that I'll show you guys. We've got lots of beautiful flowers and roses in the garden at the moment, such beautiful colours. I then headed off inside of the castle and headed to where the lounges are, and you can have cups of tea or coffee in there, and I got a hot chocolate from there, and I'll show you guys that. The hot chocolate was so delicious, and I was sat on a really comfortable sofa, and the table that I had sat at to have my hot chocolate had really beautiful carvings on. I then went off to look around the lounges. I got some snacks from there, and I'll show you guys those. The lounges are so cosy with the fireplaces, the chandeliers, the tapestries and all the massive stained glass windows. It's just so beautiful in there. I then headed off and I went off to Co-op in the high street to get some lunch from there, and then headed back, and whilst on my way back from there I was listening to music on my headphones, enjoying the sunshine and blue skies, and had managed to avoid the rain. Whilst in the castle it had poured down with rain, and I got out and it was just the remainder of the rain, so there's lots of puddles everywhere, so I timed it perfectly. I then got back and I was just writing a little bit of my journal entry for today, working on some more illustrations that are coming 7 days in, and just working on a little bit of my short story that I've been working on. And I saw a flat that was for rent and had messaged them. They then called me and asked if I wanted to go for a viewing at 5:30. I then contacted Tash and she finished at 5, so then me and my mum and Tash headed round to have a viewing of the flat, and it was nice, but I think we're going to have a bit of a think about that and maybe try to see a few more before picking that one, because there's a few more that we want to have a look at, and then have a little bit of a sit down and a chat about all of them, as it's quite hard when picking a flat and you want to make sure that it's the right one that you're going to be living in. And yeah, very excited to start this flat journey with Tash, and we then dropped Tash back to hers, got back, and I'm now just going to be chilling before going off to Touch Rugby this evening, and just see you with a bit more to vlog when I'm back from that. It's later on into the evening now, and I'm back from being at Touch Rugby. I got picked up by my older brother. I got myself ready for Touch Rugby. We then headed off to Touch Rugby, and it was a really good turnout. Tash came along as well, and Jen and the kids came along, and Jacob was playing, and Tash scored 2 tries. I didn't score any tries, but I did do some really good passing and catching and running with the ball, and I had so much fun, and it went really quickly. You know what they say, time flies when having fun. And then my older sister dropped me home, and we'd gone to Tesco's on the way back and took Tash up there so she could get some tea, and dropped Tash back to hers. Got back, and then I got showered and changed into my PJs. I was just chatting to my mum and dad about how Touch Rugby had been. I did manage to fall over. It was bound to happen, but my older sister also fell over, so did Jake. So we're all falling over tonight, but it was just so much fun, and I'm loving having Touch Rugby back. I then had my tea, and for my tea I had a chicken curry, and I'll show you guys that. The chicken curry I had for tea was so delicious. I then finished writing my journal entry for today, put that away, and I'm now off to go and watch today's Home Away and UK soaps and have about 3 or 4 brand new Love Island episodes to watch, as I didn't realise that Love Island had come back already. So I'm looking forward to catching up with the new series, and we'll see you with more to vlog tomorrow. It's now Friday and it's the end of the week, almost the weekend, and I got up early ready to go off to morning group. I had some breakfast and had some bear cuddles, just a bit of music and just watched a bit of TV, and then I got dropped to morning group by my mum, and we were doing some arts and crafts, and we cut out some cardboard butterflies and stuck lots of wool and bits of craft paper and stuff onto the butterflies, and it was so much fun. I always love doing crafts at morning group, and I'll show you guys a snap I got of the butterfly that I did at morning group. I was really happy with how it turned out. I changed my mind on how I wanted it to look a couple of times. We then had some coffee and tea and biscuits, and I got some flour snacks from the garden while we were having our little break, and I'll show you guys the flour snacks I got from there. I was able to get some really beautiful flower snacks from the garden. Those yellow dahlias with the white splodges on are probably one of my favourite type of dahlias to get snaps of. They're so beautiful. I then finished off my butterfly crafts, and we got a photo of them all together, and then we were doing some colouring in pages, and I was just doing some new illustrations, and then it was the end of the session and I got picked up by my mum, and on the way back we had to stop off at the chemist to get my dad's prescriptions. We then got back and I wished my dad happy birthday, and then I got a shave, and it feels so good not having this bushy beard anymore, and got my work uniform ready for work this evening. I'm doing a 5 till close, and then I was just watching some stuff of a chord that I needed to catch up on, listened to a bit of music, and just read some more of The Last Romeo. Had a cup of tea and some of my custard cream biscuits. I love custard cream so much. Worked on some illustrations and a little bit of my short story that I've been working on, and played with Bear out in the garden. I was having some cuddles with him. I then watched a little bit of Antiques Roadshow with my mum, and then I got myself ready to go off for a walk, and on my walk I was listening to music on my headphones, and I was enjoying my favourite type of weather, overcast weather where it's not too hot, not too cold. It's the perfect weather for me. And then I got some selfies in front of some of the pretty flowers and blossoms. I then headed up to the high street where one of our workers who sadly passed away was having his hearse driven up the high street, so we all gathered to watch it go off to the funeral. I then went off and had a look at the child shops, and went off to the bookshop and to Aldi and had a look at the Best Price section and got myself some chicken Caesar wraps from the Milldale section from there. I then headed back. I got back and I got my dad a birthday card from the card factory and gave that to him, and it said "Now That's What I Call Old," which is a play on the Now CDs, which my dad has all of them, so it felt very fitting to get that birthday card for him, which he loved. They then went off to have a sweet treat for my dad's birthday, off in some cafe in the high street. I then had my chicken Caesar wraps and a cup of tea, watched a bit of TV, and then my mum and dad got back, and my dad took Bear off for his walk. They then got back, and I'm now off to go to work a little bit earlier, as I'm going to be off to the wake and start work at 5. So I've got my work top in my bag to get changed into just before work, and I shall see you with a bit more of the vlog when I'm back from that. It's late on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at my evening shift at work. I had work doing 5 till close, but I got up to work for about 4 for one of our workers' wakes, and he was a really big part of our workplace. So we were celebrating his life, and it was quite busy. There was quite a lot of people, and it was just so lovely seeing everyone come together to celebrate such a lovely man. And I sat and had a cola and was chatting to some of my mates whilst there, and then I started work at 5, and I'd had my work top in my bag to get changed into just before work. So I quickly popped around the back, got to my work top, and then got clocked in, put my bag away, and got my drink out that I got to have for work, and was just wanting some food and drinks clean tables and sold chat to some of the burglars. I was cleaning tables inside as well as outside, and there were about 5 of us on shift as it's pretty busy, and the whole of the front barn was just for the week, so it meant it was quite busy and loads of tables were put together. We had one table where the spread was, and we had lots of people there, and so I was just cleaning lots of tables and getting lots of plates put into pot wash, and was running lots of food and drink and cleaning lots of tables and doing some drink making and wine pouring and pint pouring, and we had a great music playlist playing, and I got myself dancing along to some of the songs, and we had a great team on, and then it calmed down a little bit, and it was just me and 2 other colleagues from 6 onwards, and we absolutely smashed it. I just got on with the cleaning and clothes jobs, and then it was out of me and one other colleague to go home early, and we were going to do rock paper scissors, but he's in at 11 the next day. I'm not in now till Wednesday evening. I've got a few days off, so I said don't worry about doing rock paper scissors, you go home, it's fine. And then it's just me and one other colleague, and we just blitzed the clothes and cleaning jobs, and we ended up getting out for about 11ish. I then clocked off, got my bag and got picked up, and whilst waiting to get picked up it was drizzling a little bit, but I didn't mind as I was absolutely melting. I'd heaved up the whole place, taken the bins out, mopped and swept up. I was running around that place I kept checking, just trying to get a load of the cleaning and clothes jobs done, as we were a little bit behind on schedule as I'd been so busy with the week being on, but we got out at a really good time. I thought we were going to be out a lot later. I then got back, got into my PJs, and for my tea I had chicken and chips from the Chippy, and I'll show you guys that. It was so delicious. The bit of chicken I had was humongous. I'm pretty sure it might have been 2 pieces of chicken. Didn't know why they gave me 2, but I absolutely devoured it. I was so hungry after work. And then me and my mum were just watching a little bit of Star Trek. I then finished writing my journal entry for today, put that away, and I'm now off to go and watch today's Homeaway and UK soaps. And then tomorrow I've got Saturday off. I've actually got the weekend off, which is a very rare occasion, so I'm looking forward to enjoying the weekend. And it's my town's first ever Pride, so I am so excited. I'm going to be meeting up with Tash, Amelia and Jenny and the kids, and it's supposed to be a little bit wet, so hopefully it's not too miserable. I've got a rainbow Pride umbrella that my older brother dropped over this evening for me, so I'll be using that if it is raining, but I'm hoping that we get a little bit of sunshine, just a little bit. Pretty please, weather gods, but if it is a little bit drizzly, we're done with it, and I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun, and to see you for more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Saturday, and I hope you guys are having a lovely start to your weekend. I've got a very rare weekend off, so I was able to have a little bit of a lie-in. I then had some lemon curd toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast, had some bear cuddles and was playing with him with his favourite rope toy, watched a bit of TV. I then got showered and changed and just listened to a bit of music. I was working on a little bit of a short story that I've been working on, and read some more of The Last Romeo, and had a cup of tea and some of my custard creams. Custard creams are so good, they're probably my favourite biscuit at the moment. I was then just watching some vlogs and TikToks of funny dog and cat videos and sea lion videos. I love sea lions, they're just so adorable. I then was listening to a bit of music, and I got myself ready to go off to my town's first ever Pride event up in the High Street, and I was very excited to head off to that. I was meeting Tash up in the High Street to go off there, and whilst making my way up there I was listening to music on my headphones, and Tash was running a little bit late, so I went off to the flower shop just before meeting her. There was a flower shop from there that I'll show you guys. They've always got such beautiful bouquets of flowers in there, with such lovely colourful flowers, lots of roses and sunflowers, and it always smells so good in there. I then was having a lovely chat with the flower shopkeepers in there. I got some plants, that's from there that I'll show you guys. They had a load of new plants in, and I was having a lovely look on there, all the succulents and cactuses and fish pattern leaves and plant pots. I then met up with Tash and we went around having a look at some of the stools, and it started to absolutely lash it down. So I was glad that I had my umbrella in my bag, and it was a rainbow coloured Pride umbrella, which is very fitting, and wore my rainbow Pride socks, which I love. And we were just having a lovely look around at all the stools, and I got some rainbow cupcakes, one for me and one for Tash, and we then headed off into Costa where Tash's mum and dad were, and we were meeting Jazz at the Costa, and I got a snap of the cupcakes, and I'll show you guys those. These Pride cupcakes look so good, and I got a snap of them on one of the plant sofas in the Costa. And then Jazz arrived and we chilled in there for a bit, waiting for the rain to die down. It then calmed down a bit, and I got some snaps from the high street of all of the Pride decorations and all the murals on the windows of the pubs, and it was so beautiful seeing it all decorated for Pride with all the Pride flags, and I'll show you guys snaps I got from there. It's so beautiful seeing all decorated for Pride, and had such a lovely time. Although it rained, we weren't going to be letting it rain our parade. And then I got a snap with Stitch and Angel, and one in front of this art gallery on the top of High Street where they'd done some artwork in the window. I'll show you guys those. Got a little bit starstruck getting a photo with Stitch and Angel, and that artwork in the window of the art gallery is so beautiful. I always love having a look around at the artwork in there. She's so talented. And then me, Tash and Jazz headed off to get some lunch from Greg, and headed back to Tash and Amelia's where Tash and Jamie were getting the playlist for work done with LGBT playlist, so I was helping them with that. We then watched a little bit of Two Broke Girls, and then I headed home. I then got back and ended up having a little bit of a nap. I then had a cup of tea and some custard cream biscuits, and was reading a little bit more of The Last Romeo. I'm working on some illustrations, kind of sort of dozing, and just watched the stuff off record that I need to finish catching up on. And for my tea, I had some chicken Kievs. The chicken Kievs that I had for my tea was so delicious. I am now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, put that away, and then I'm going to be watching some more of Love Island, have a lot to catch up on, and I'm really enjoying the new series, and to see you for more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Sunday, and I got up after a little bit of a lie-in. I then had some lemon curd toast with a cup of tea for my breakfast, and just watched some stuff on Netflix, listened to a bit of music, and had some bear cuddles. I was playing with him out in the garden, and it was a lovely sunny day with beautiful blue skies. It's a shame it hadn't been like that yesterday with the Pride event we had on in the high street. And I then just watched some vlogs and TikToks and funny dog and cat videos, and I got myself ready to go off for a Sunday stroll. And whilst on my walk, I was listening to music on my headphones, enjoying the sunshine and blue sky. I'd worn my hat, I didn't want to be burning my head, and I got some pretty flower snaps I'll show you guys. There's so many beautiful flowers and roses out and about at the moment that I've been able to get snaps of. I just love flower photography so much. I then headed up to the high street and went off to one of the coffee shops and got a peach iced tea from there, and I'll show you guys that. The peach iced teas that they do in there are so good. I then sat and chilled in there for a little bit, and they had some really good music playing in there. I was chatting with the people working in there, they're so lovely. I then popped to Aldi and got myself some lunch from the Mildor section, and then headed off back home. And on the way back, I was listening to music on my headphones, and I was listening to a bit of Kylie, and got some more flower snaps, and I'll show you guys those. I had a lovely stroll back and was able to get some really pretty flower snaps. I then popped to Co-op Food to get some cash out for the week ahead. Unfortunately, the cash point is all out of cash because we only have one cash point in town at the moment, which is very annoying. I then got back and my mum had brought my grandma over for tea, and my mum's getting the roast ready, and it smells so good. I then wrote some of my journal entry for today, listened to a bit of music and worked on some illustrations across the dozing, and then I watched Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, and then for tea we had our roast. The roast dinner we had for tea was so delicious. We had a beef roast, and I haven't had beef in so long, smothered in mint sauce. It was mwah. We then had some profiteroles for pudding, and I had mine with a cup of tea. We then tidied away the dining room table and kitchen, and then watched a bit of the David Attenborough documentary. I love a bit of David Attenborough. And then we watched a bit of Auntie Roadshow, and my dad brought Grandma home, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, put that away, and then watch tonight's Coronation Street and Emmerdale. It was supposed to be on Friday night, but it was not on due to football, so it's on tonight instead. And then I'm going to be watching New Love Island, and I hope you guys have all had a great week and weekend, and all have a lovely new week ahead, and to see you with a new vlog very soon.